Yes, Hisham. Modest equipments. Yes. Number 4. Yes. Now here some students mentioned a difficult life. Yes. So here difficult. What makes someone's life difficult is when it is compared with others. When you do something that you are the only person doing it. But we suppose that if you are living on a farm, doing some work, if all the people nearby are doing the same job, then it's not considered as difficult because everybody is doing it. You see the relativity of things. Of course, when you are a visitor from a city and you see the life of people in the countryside, you consider this as very difficult because you yourself, you cannot imagine yourself doing it. It's very tough for you. But for those people, it can be difficult, but they are adapted to it, accustomed to it, more or less. Yes. All right. Now, number 5. Yes, Mariam. Here, comfortable room. Yes, well, for her, it's a comfortable room. Maybe before another person, if he enters in that room, he would say, well, that's very small, etc. So everything is relative. It's the way you look at the things that you have that makes it different. Okay. You may look at your bed and see it as the best bed in the world, or if you are not satisfied, even if you live in a villa, you don't like your life. Okay, so it's about the way we perceive the world and the way we are grateful of the things that we have, be they small sometimes, but we need to be grateful for that, for having those small things. You know, the cup of tea, for example. There are some people in Morocco who wake up in the morning with 0 dirhams. I mean, they go out to look for to work, and then they will have breakfast when they will gain some dirhams, and they will buy a cup of tea. You can imagine this cup of tea, how delicious, how they will enjoy drinking that cup of tea, because before they did not know whether they will be able to buy that cup of tea or not. And then only they buy their cup of tea when they are very hungry, when they desire very much that cup of tea. If you compare the situation with someone who wake up in the morning and find a table full of juice and drinks of all types, and then sometimes he does not have even the appetite to have the breakfast, because it's something taken for granted. It is something available, and it loses its importance. So this is humans in general. We give importance to something which is rare, difficult to achieve. When it is easy to get, then it loses importance. Well, it should be the other way around, normally. Okay? If you have something that many people cannot have, you have to be thankful for that and to be grateful and not to take it for granted. Okay, now we move to paraphrasing. We start with the number one, waiting for, again, remember that when you paraphrase, you have to restate the sentence in your own words, but without deleting or adding any information from the original sentence. Yes, so she her lively smile, yes, was the reflection of joy. Okay, do you have any remark about this uh, example? So yes, or joyfulness. Mm-hmm. Tariq, is an S missing there, the joyousness. Uh-huh. Say joyousness. Yes, the joy. Yes. Okay. So, any remark about the sentence? Is it okay? Her light was the reflection. So when we have the mirror, okay, means that of her joy. Yes. Yes. Well, we can add her. Does not make a difference, a big difference. Even it's in origin sentence, you don't say of her happiness, because it goes without saying that we are talking about her happiness. All right. Now we move to number 2. Right, number 2, so that we know that we are talking about the same thing. Pay attention, the word confirm is a verb and not a noun. Hisham, you are using it here as a noun, so you have to say confirmation. Yes, Khadija, a good way to paraphrase. Don't like morality here. We have, yes, you cannot be sure that you will be happy. Whether you are deprived, means needy, as was mentioned by Hisham, penniless, poor. Yes. So stop. We have to stop saying that, yes, I'm unhappy because I am poor. Yes. Poverty, yes, it is bad. And we don't wish anyone to be poor. But if you just laugh with your brothers and sisters, if you laugh with your friends, that brings happiness. Okay, if you can find happiness in doing something that you like, that's happiness. I mean, happiness has no single definition. Or maybe I would like you to suggest a definition for the word happiness. How would you define it? How would you define the word happiness? This is a big word. And what makes you happy may not make another person happy. So don't care about others. If you are happy with very little things, that's it. So what is happiness for you? Can you give me your suggestions? Health. So there's some good feeling about what you have. Yes, but yeah, it is an emotional state, but you have to explain. Be comfortable with oneself. Or maybe accepting oneself. As we are. Satisfaction. That's satisfaction of whatever you have. Yes. A smile. Yes, a smile from someone you love. Be your brother, your sister, whatever, your mother, anyone. Achieving goals, when you achieve your goals. Yes, you see that we cannot stop defining happiness, and it's for everyone a different definition. So try you to find peace of mind, whatever. Try to find happiness in at least one of these things. You are not supposed to find happiness same as your friend. Okay. But it is your own decision to be happy. Okay. It's not the responsibility of others to make you happy. And yes, when you compare yourself with others, you can never be happy. You can always find someone who is better than you, who has a better house, a better clothes, that you find. I like those people who, when they wake up in the morning and they look at the mirror, they say, wow, I am perfect. That would not mean overestimating ourselves, but being happy with what we are. Okay. I think that those people are far much better than those who, whenever they watch themselves, they see themselves in a mirror, they would say, oh, I would have been better if I was a little bit tall. 5 centimeters tall would be perfect. Or those who, when they watch themselves, they say, if I was shorter 5 centimeters, or if I have just 2, 3 kilograms more, or if I have just 2, 3 kilograms less. Stop saying those things. It'd be great if you, whenever you watch yourself, you say, I'm good, I'm because you have to remember that nobody is perfect. Maybe you are looking at a neighbor or a friend and you say, wow, if I could be like him or her. But just talk to that person and tell him whether he or she is satisfied with herself, and you will be surprised that she herself is not satisfied. So if you go this way, nobody will be satisfied at all. Okay, so satisfaction is very important. And yes, the joy of others, I mean, sometimes you can be unhappy, but because there are some people around you are happy, this is reflected on you. That's why it's good to meet people who are positive, optimistic. This is reflected on us. Same if you meet people who are always complaining and negative, if you meet those people, automatically you'll be a negative person. Sitting all the time with losers. I'm sorry, if you have a friend who is a loser, who has done nothing in his life, look for another friend. I'm not saying you have to let him down, especially if he is a negative person. But it's good to meet people who have succeeded in their life. Okay, now number 3. She had never had an easy life. Very easy, this one. Difficult life is the norm in this woman's life. Difficulty is the norm. Rough life was tough. Yes, that's all. The answers are good. was tough. She had an convenient life, as an missing there, inconvenient. And you have the n missing there. Okay, now we move to number 4. Yes, Miriam, that's a good way to paraphrase this sentence. Wrong in young people desiring. So here, young people, young men and women desiring, wants to acquire what is called a higher standard of living. It means a better level of living. Yes, standard. And there is no harm in that. This is what she has started with. There is nothing wrong. Paraphrasing, there is no harm in that, and there is nothing wrong, which is a very good way to paraphrase this sentence. Yes, Yamna, good. Yes. Again, this reminds us that, well, uh, we uh, we have to satisfaction does not mean if we are poor. It's good to be satisfied so that you can survive, but it does not mean that you have to say, okay, I am poor, my destiny is to remain poor all my life. No, definitely no. You have to do your best so that you change your situation, and there is no harm in that. There is nothing wrong, as your friend has mentioned. Yes, Nuhaila, good. What is wrong with if each person aspires to live in a better standard, or to have a better standard, high standard of living? Yes. Okay, good. Now, number 5. Yes. Yes. We said it, money is important, but it definitely cannot buy happiness, because happiness is priceless. I mean, cannot give it a price. It's not like buying a car, a house, whatever. Happiness is something which is abstract. It's a feeling. And we can have a lot of material things and be unhappy. And it's interesting to remark that that poor people love more than rich people. Did you remark this? Why, in your opinion? You can see a group of people who are very poor sitting together and laughing for hours. And you can see a very rich man rarely smiling. But pay attention to spelling. Whenever you write, check your spelling by with you. What do you think? Did you remark this? Poor people love more than rich people. Is it my own remark? I'm maybe wrong? Or did you remark this yourself? When you look at popular neighborhood, you find people laughing more than in richer neighborhoods. Nehaila maybe said that they lost the taste of life. Yes, you can imagine when you are very rich, because as I told you a few minutes ago, a poor person can be very happy to drink a cup of tea, because having a cup of tea is not that easy for him. Whereas a rich person, he wants a car, he has a car. He wants a villa, he has 10 villas. He wants clothes, he has clothes. Uh, from where he can get happiness? Yes, and maybe when you have nothing to lose, as Tarek said, maybe when you are rich, you have money and you are afraid of losing, and you spend all your life fearing the loss of this money, and that brings you instead unhappiness. Yes, Jalal. Yes. Yes, I like the expression of Tarek saying that maybe because poor people have nothing to lose anyway, that can bring, especially when you are a successful businessman, and you know in business nothing is for sure. Today your business is okay, tomorrow you may have problems, and there is always that fear of losing, or maybe greed. Greediness, Jalal mentions, yes. The more we have, the less we are satisfied. Yes, in having good relationships, yes. That's not just for rich people. For poor people and rich people, much happiness can be achieved if we have good relationship with the people we know, at least that we stop having endless conflicts. All right, good. Now we will start in the new text, which talk about stress. But before that, I would like you to tell me first, what is stress? Because it's a word that we use a lot. Who can give me a definition of stress? Yes, Fatim Zahra Kali has given a good interpretation. Good. Shayma also has given. What is stress? Yes, Mukhtar is giving us to live under pressure. Physical, is it physical or psychological? I'm asking. I don't know. Physical, psychological, or both? Yes, it's more of a psychological tension because it's something, because it's mental. It has to do with psychology. It's not about being tired physically speaking. To be worried, yes. Wisal, yes. Same for Maryam. All the time. There are some people who are worried all the time, stressed all the time, nervous. Yes, to be under a hammer, not no R, hammer, or to feel as if you are under a hammer. or that you can bear or can support better, that you can. And it's interesting here what Khadija is saying, that you can bear better or support, because people have limits, and we are not the same. There can be some people who are stressed with very little things, very small things. If you tell other people, they will laugh at you. They will say, "What? That's why you are making a fuss of these things, which are not that a difficult sleeping." That's the conclusion. That's the consequence. Yes. So here we have we agree that it's a negative feeling. So how can you face stress? How can you face stress? Because all of us can be stressed at a certain in a given situation at a certain moment, which is normal, human. Yes. So having a coping mechanism, that's what Fatima Sarah is saying. You have to cope with having, or maybe developing, or having. It can be developed or having it, having or developing a coping mechanism. Yes, you can see some people are laughing, etc. They look very satisfied, happy, and when you look at the problems they have, you are really surprised. Say, how come that these people can laugh and can sleep at night? So relaxing activities. Friends talks about sport. Nuhaila talks about reading. Yamna talks about having sports, meeting friends. Slow down, maybe making a pause sometimes. Yes, you have to know where to make a pause, whatever you are doing. Okay, but don't make it a holiday, because this is something that students would like to hear. Yeah, when you are tired, take a pause, but a pause it's for a few minutes, few hours, not for days. So say I'm stressed, I'm taking a pause. No. Now, if you have, if you believe in religion, be religious. Again, this that can help. Relaxation. So relaxing activities are a good thing to do. Again, traveling with friends, that's parts of relaxing activities. Doing things you like, being with people you like. Yes, being with people. And that's, yes, Fatima, going to a therapist. That's the extreme case when you feel that you cannot deal with your stress, then you need help. It can be a therapist, it can be a psychologist or psychiatrist. It depends on the state of stress you have reached. If it is the usual stress that everyone have, it's not a big problem. Stress is part of life, and maybe without stress, I mean, nothing can be achieved. Laughing. Yes, because when you are with people you like, automatically you laugh, you enjoy your time, and this will help a lot in making you forget about your stress or distress, or uh, yes, having also eating well, being extrovert. I mean, not, yes, because there are some people when they are stressed, they start to be isolated, living alone, and that's accentuate this stress. It's good to go out from time to time, to meet other people, to see other people, and then when you talk to other people, you see other people, you find that sometimes the problem you have is shared by many people, or worse, that many people can have problems that are worse than yours. Yes, yes, being alone from time to time is good, but it should not be the norm. Okay, because human beings are sociable beings. Don't know. Yes, so yeah, well, being an introvert, but sometimes it's not a choice. It's a psychological trait. There are some people who are introverts. Even if they want to be extrovert, they can't. Very difficult for them, at least. But anyway, meeting other people can do a lot of good things, especially as we have said, positive people, people from whom you can learn, people when you are with them you laugh. That's something extraordinary, very important in one's life. But there is no harm if you decide, if you choose to be alone from time to time, but not always. Huh? Not always. Okay, now we start our text. Oh, here again, you can see there is no one way of dealing with stress. Everyone can manage, try to manage, and just remember that when you are stressed about something, don't think that you are the only person in the world having that problem or being stressed about that situation, because many people elsewhere, maybe you don't know, or maybe you know, but you are not aware that they are experiencing the same thing. Uh, when we see some people, sometimes we say how happy they are. They must have no problems. And we are mistaken most of the time, because a person that has no problem does not exist. So the fact that they look happy is maybe because they are satisfied, because they know how to cope with their uh, stress, with their problems, and this is the best thing to do. All right, now the effects of stress. We start with vocabulary. You write, please, the number. I don't know why it does not. First, we tend to take the bold type. It refuses. I don't know why. Okay, get off. Yes, so depart. Yes, so students have chosen depart. Yes, to get off, depart. Now, tension. So there are numbers. I could not change the numbers. I don't know why it refuses to modify it, but anyway, maybe you write the number which is appears here. Tension. Yes, strain. Good. Rate. Yes, ratio. Good. Affected. Yes, impaired. Overreact. We have the word over or the prefix over that can help. Yes, become hysterical. 7, moody. Is a moody person. We meet these people sometimes. You can be happy, sometimes unhappy. After a few seconds, that shows an unbalanced personality or temperament. Yes, next, addiction. Addictions. But we can talk here about any type of addiction. An addiction is an injurious activity that injure. Okay, so generally all addictions have negative consequences. Okay, if you are harmed in a way or another when you are addicted to drugs, you can injure yourself, you are harming yourself. Yes, so every addiction, as Hajar said, is bad. All type of addictions. You can be addicted to Facebook. Though Facebook can be very useful, can share memories, jokes, whatever information with friends, and but if you cannot do without Facebook, it means if you spend hours every day, then of course it can be it's negative. Definitely. I mean, when or all type of social networks, as Jalal said, I will not say stop using social networks, but use them in a reasonable way. And maybe you can do the experiment, because sometimes we think that it does not take much time from us. Maybe you can put your watch in front of you, or an alarm, and you say, for example, I will assign 1 hour for Facebook or for social networks per day. And then when the hour finish, I mean, you will discover that the hour passes very quickly. That means that 1 hour is not enough for you, and sometimes we don't pay attention to time. If you can be addicted to helping people, that's rare. Huh? But if it exists, again, if you are all the time helping other people, you have to find some time to help yourself first. I'm not saying you have to be individualistic, selfish. Everything in life, if it exceeds the limits, it becomes negative. Whatever you do. Even in food, for example, you think you like a dish very much, okay? But that dish, if you eat more than what is needed, because you like, you may go to hospital. So you see that the same dish, which was supposed to be delicious, good, that everybody appreciate, if you eat it too much, you may go to hospital. That's why whatever you do, seek to find the an average way or a middle way of doing things without going to extremes. Next, anorexia. Yeah, definitely it is starvation. And here, what does it mean, starvation? Can you define it in your own words? Yes. And of course, you have the risk of dying. You have the risk of dying because you don't eat or you don't find food. And it is maybe when we have cases of famine. Now, when you have famine, this is something imposed on you. We see again cases, unfortunately, of some countries in our continent that are suffering from famine due to climate problems, due to economic recessions or crises in these societies. But worse is when it's you who refuse to eat. That's worse. And we have, especially in the case of girls, we have, uh, especially when we see models. Those models, when we see them in television, many girls would like to be like those models, those girls. And we know that those models are rare to have this profile. They can be sometimes tall. You can find a girl of 1 meter 80 and weighing 50 kilograms. And those women, so that to stay for a long time as models, they can deprive themselves of food. And there are some girls, especially teenagers, adolescents, who dream to be like those models because they believe that this is a definition of beauty, though it's not always the case. And they stop eating, and they can have what Nuhaila says, eating disorders, so that they don't gain weight, and they may have health problems then. Okay, so we cannot be, that's we are coming back to the idea of comparing ourselves with others. Our body is not the same. Our bodies are not the same. There are some people who eat very little and they are fat. And the other way around exists. There are many people who eat a lot to gain 1 kilogram, but no way they can. I mean, when you see them, you think that they are starving, they are not eating, but in fact they eat a lot. So here, when it's famine, when it is imposed on you by some external matters, we can understand. But when it is starvation that you impose on yourself, that would be foolishness, because we would like to look like someone else. Yes. You can, if you feel that you are obese, again, obesity is relative. In some families, you can be considered as fat, but in other families, you may be considered as normal. Depends on the people around you, how they are. Again, relativity of things. Yes. So eating disorders can have negative consequences. Obvious. Yes, understandable. Last word, which is eventually. Yes, good. Ultimately, and this is how you can enrich your vocabulary, okay? The more you work on text, I mean, the texts we are giving you are not enough. I keep on telling you that. You can find text everywhere. Google, you find texts, different type of text, and you can even adjust looking for advanced level texts. And most of the time you have questions, and then you can check a dictionary. So when you do, For example, when because again, this is the way to prepare for the exam, is to take a text, to have maybe you can check words, any word that looks difficult in the text, and then try to guess their meanings. You do it first without looking at a dictionary, and when you finish working in 1 hour and a half, you need to have comprehension questions, you need to have paraphrasing and vocabulary. When you finish, then take a dictionary and check. So do it as if you are having an exam, and it would be perfect if you can work with others so that you can compare yourself. They will say the teacher is contradicting himself. Sometimes he say don't compare yourself, and sometimes he says compare yourself. Well, compare yourself in a positive way. I mean, you need to know your real level. When you were in the secondary school, you were the first student in your class in English because the other students were not interested in English. But now you are with students who are supposed to be interested in English, and maybe you are surprised that you are not getting the best mark you used to get. It's not the end of the world. All you have to do is to work more. So again, when you compare yourself, it's not so that you can be unhappy and satisfied. No, just to know your real level, and then you work more. I mean, yes, that's what Fatim Zahra said. Constructive comparison. I mean, yes, we want to self-evaluate ourselves, and how can we do that if we don't compare ourselves with others? Now we start with the questions according to the text. So whatever, even if you don't have the expression according to the text, remember that all the questions you are given, you have to answer them according to the text. Sometimes it's not mentioned in the question, but it goes without saying that you are given a text, and the questions you are given, their answer should be based on the information in the text. Okay, so let's look at number 1. Problems caused by stress. Yes, Yamna. And interestingly here, though we said that stress is something which is psychological, mental, but its consequences can be physical. If you are too much, you have a lot of stress, you may have physical problems. Especially this, maybe some of you may have experienced stomach aches, for example. Many people have stomach aches. They think that they have problems of digestions, but this is due to stress. If they stop stressing, they will not need any thing for their stomach. So remember that you can have a psychological problem that can lead to physical and psychological problems. Hair issues, yes. Now here, yeah, it is physical. When you start losing your hair, it depends. There are some people who lose their hair because it's genetically inherited. Your grandfather did not have hair. You may not have hair, but it has nothing to do with stress. But there are some people, because they are so stressed, they start losing their hair, that's a negative sign. Yes, now here Fatim Zara has given us an example. So when you know, but it's good that having, especially exams, stress of exams is part of life. So you remember, just to forget about your stress, just remember that you are not the only or the first one will have an exam. Okay, little stress is normal before exams, but you should not exaggerate. Okay, you will lower the stress by being prepared. Now, I'm really, when I see the number of students registered in this group, look at the number of participants, how many we have. Normally, it's 133 students who are in this, supposed to be in this group. How many students are attending the course? 24, 22, 23. I mean, I hope that they have a good excuse. I don't know. Maybe there are some students who have problems to have internet connection. I don't know. But are some students just sleeping because it's Ramadan, because they think that Ramadan is for sleeping? Wake up, ladies and gentlemen. You have no time for sleeping. If you sleep at night, it's more than enough. And wake up to work, to do your best, and be sure that you will progress. I'm not saying that if you get 4 in an exam, next exam you'll get 16, but you will progress for sure. But you have to do your best. Okay, so when you know that stress, when you know you are aware of that, that's good. You know that if I am too stressed, I will start losing my hair. I will have many physical problems. So you have to ask yourself, so I have to stop, or at least to try. You will tell me it's beyond our capacities. Try and keep on telling yourself that if you have a problem, whatever you have, you're not the only one anyway. Now look at number 2, question number 2. And here you see how stress can be very dangerous if it exceeds the limit. Yes, Hisham. Okay, it has many physical effects, including it can affect the heart, the respiratory system. Of course, when you say respiratory system, it can lead to asthma, and so that we don't repeat this. And whenever you have a list of things, comma, 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 and then end at the end, so that you don't repeat yourself. Can affect the heart, the respiratory system, and the stomach. You see how dangerous is stress. So please stop stressing. Pay attention to punctuation mark. For example, here after stress, we need a semicolon and not a simple comma. Number 3, how can stress affect emotions? Yes, Shema, and that's what gives an explanation about moody people. You don't understand their behavior. They can be happy and happy from a second to another. That can lead to symptoms of depression, yes. Anxiety, being angry all the time, nervous all the time. Yes, if we are angry, we need to be angry, nervous. Can be angry, nervous from time to time. But if you are angry, nervous all the time, you have a problem. Number 4. Consequences of long-term stress. Now here, short-term stress, normal, no problem. But if it's a long-term, yes, too much stress can lead to depression, addiction of all types. We mean here being addicted to alcohol, especially, and anorexia, which is eating disorders. Yes. Number 5, how can stress affect the respiratory system? Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you have a health breathing problem, that can make it worse. Yes. Yes. Of course, breathing too fast and breathing, having breathing problems All right. So I think that would be all for today. We are left with paraphrasing, and I will make sure to publish the next text we start after the effects of stress. Okay, thank you very much, and Ramadan. Try to have a happy Ramadan, and don't stress a lot. Okay, do your best, and be sure that you'll be okay. Just do your best so that you don't regret. Okay, wish you the best of health. Take care of yourselves, and goodbye.